This is gonna work. Let's see if this is gonna work. Please work. What's up, guys? Open Ice Hits with Scotty2 Hockey. Let's talk Habs. It took me so long to go live. I logged out of my OPS, ended up losing my stream key, had to go to Google, hunt through Google how to set up a stream key again, then try to stream through my OPS, which is my Open Ice Hits with Scotty2 Hockey thing on Streamlabs. Wouldn't let me do that, so then I had to go live through YouTube, connecting my OBS to it. I'm not a technical wizard, but this is honestly one of the hardest things I've ever had to do just to try and go live. I've put like an hour and a half's work into this just to get this live stream going. So hopefully it turns out well. Hopefully we can get a few people here. It doesn't tell me how many people are viewing right now or anything like that, like it does on my OPS. So if you are viewing, please go in the chat, leave me a comment. I'm going to check on my girlfriend's channel now to see if I'm coming up on her channel live. I should be. It says I'm live on YouTube right now, and it says end stream if I want to end stream. So hopefully I can get some of you guys in on stream right now, and hopefully this is working. I really, really hope this is working. This is like my 5th attempt, and if it isn't working this time, I just don't know what I'm going to do. I'm live, yes. Now let's see if I got sound. Do I have sound? I'm going to check on my girlfriend's channel now. Yes, I do have sound, yes. I will be on in 5 minutes. Perfect. That's good to hear, NHL Hockey News Reports. I'm just glad to have you in the chat. You don't understand how long I've been trying to get this going. When I said I was going to go live 20 minutes, like 2.5 hours ago, since I said that, and I logged out of my OPS after that, I went in and put my daughter to bed. I came back, and the whole while since then has been me trying to get on YouTube so I can live stream. So many different things I had to do to find the stream key. They do not make it easy with OPS. I know a lot of people don't use it. It's so hard to use. It's ridiculous. But thank you for tuning in. And yes, I'm looking forward to seeing you in 5 minutes. But anyways, let's talk a little bit about upcoming topics. If anybody wants to talk about UFC 249, Justin Gaethje versus Tony Ferguson, that absolute war that happened, I'm very happy to talk about that. I know I don't have a lot of UFC fans as much as I do Montreal Canadiens fans, but I really, really would like to talk about that for sure. And we can talk about Alexander Romanov, Matthias Norlander, Cam Hillis just signed today, how good Caulfield was looking in the NCAA. I'm not going to lie, I'm super let down that there's no hockey. Let's get some people in on this feed. Unfortunately, on my end, I can't see how many people are in the stream, but I might go to my OPS side and see if I can see it from there. On the OPS, it doesn't show me anything. And on the YouTube streaming part, it doesn't show me how many people. 4 concurrent viewers is what it said. I had 4 viewers. I don't know if you guys are still here right now. Feel free to leave a comment, leave a question. Let's get a chat going on the channel. It's kind of hard talking to yourself, as people who do live streams know. Hopefully we can get a couple of my buddies in here, like Talking Habs or Rick, Matt from the Simbin. Whoever's around on YouTube that stumbles across my channel and sees that I'm live, I'm glad to talk to you guys, because I haven't done a live stream in a long time. I didn't make an announcement for this earlier. I did a test run live stream where I told 2 or 3 people that I was going to be going live. I was talking to Joe. I was talking to NHL Hockey News Reports. Showed off my baby a little bit. McGregor talking hella smack on Twitter. Oh, man, giving me something to talk about there. Some fuel to the fire. I'm a McGregor fan, but when it comes to the Khabib stuff, he needs to shut up. I agree with McGregor. After what McGregor did to Eddie Alvarez and Dustin Poirier, the style of fighter Justin Gaethje is, I think McGregor would pick him apart. His sniper counter-striking, I think he would be able to get Justin Gaethje. If Justin Gaethje didn't take him down, which he never does. He never takes anybody down. Tony Ferguson, very sloppy, very unorthodox. I think McGregor would be able to take advantage of that, but I'm a bit scared if it went to the ground with Tony, that Tony would submit him. But Khabib destroyed the dude. Khabib absolutely mopped the guy for 4 rounds. They say McGregor won a round because Khabib coasted and took the round off so he could have the energy to finish him in the 4th. I wanted McGregor to win that fight, but getting your ass kicked like that and then talking shit and saying this guy hugs legs, saying he's a pussy, saying he's a chicken jaw rat and all this stuff, that is not a good look. Like the guys were saying on Twitter, like a lot of other fighters were saying and people that chimed in were saying, I think it might have been the whiskey talking. I think he's a bit hard on proper 12 there. Big fan of Conor McGregor, I'm not going to lie. Not as a person, really. Some of the things he's done are pretty dickheadish. Slapping a phone out of a fan's hand and smashing it. Punching an old man in a bar. Getting caught cheating on his wife. It's no secret that he's cheated on his wife. But as a fighter, absolute fucking beast. But he needs to shut up when it comes to the Khabib stuff. So Thank you for that bit of fuel to the fire, Aaron, for sure. Going to be Khabib and Justin, and whoever wins versus McGregor, in my opinion. Uh, Khabib versus Justin, and whoever wins versus McGregor. Oh, 100% agree. McGregor. I don't know if McGregor is going to sit out till that because Khabib got Ramadan going now, and I believe he's not going to be available to fight till at least till September or October or something like that. Excuse me, I need a drink. Monster Energy, as UFC loves. But yeah, until at least September or October. I don't know if Conor's going to wait that long, but if he's guaranteed a title shot, the winner, I think he will wait that long. And I think he will go to bed praying the night before the fight that Justin Gaethje wins the fight. As much shit as he talks about Khabib, I don't see McGregor beating Khabib anytime soon. The way that first fight went, unless McGregor really, really works on his takedown defense, really, really uses his distance and uses his striking to put Khabib out early, I don't see it. He just doesn't have the gas tank. But yes, thank you so much for giving me some UFC questions, something to talk about, so I'm not just talking to myself in front of a camera, because it's been a long time since I've live streamed. And if you aren't a subscriber of the channel, feel free to subscribe. Hockey, UFC, hockey card breaks, pretty much any sports topic I can come up with, as long as we're not talking about badminton, golf, tennis, something stupid like that, a real sport. I'm all for it. But yeah, McGregor is doing a lot of shit talking on Twitter, and it isn't a good look. He just shit talks everybody anyways. Like, the things he was saying at welterweight were ridiculous. Like, he would starch Kamaru Usman is one of the things he said. He would take the title from Kamaru Usman. He's going to run through the lightweight division, which I could personally see him doing if Gaethje beats Khabib, and him avoiding Khabib and beating a few contenders if he beat Gaethje. But to say he's going to run through welterweight after that or eventually win the welterweight title, maybe he could beat Jorge Masvidal. Maybe. I think he has a chance against Jorge Masvidal. Not beating Kamaru Usman, not beating Colby Covington. Insane cardio, insane pressure, insane wrestling. McGregor's a small for that division. They would have their absolute way with him. I don't think his power would generate as well as it did against guys at 155 and 145. We've seen it with Diaz. Yes, Diaz has a crazy chin, but so does Colby, and so does Kamaru. They're thicker, stronger fighters. I think he'd get killed at welterweight against anybody in the top 5, maybe even in the top 10. He's going to get killed. Unless it's Nate Diaz or Jorge Masvidal. I do give him a chance in those fights. And there are some other lower tier fighters that fight at welterweight, like Anthony Pettis fights at welterweight now, here and there. I don't think he would beat Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Tyron Woodley would fucking kill him. It wouldn't even be close. I don't know why he's thinking about talking about Tyron Woodley. But yeah, don't think he's going to run through welterweight anytime soon. I think he's a bit crazy. Conor said he's ready to go in July. I don't know why he's fighting in lightweight. He didn't look as healthy as he did in middleweight. Welterweight, not middleweight. Oh, yeah, I knew what you said when you said middleweight. I knew you meant welterweight because Conor couldn't make middleweight if he wanted to, unless it was a catch fight, unless he was 170 fighting somebody that's 185. He did look really good at 170. He did look strong, but that was against Cowboy Cerrone. He looked undersized against Nate Diaz, but you got to think about it. Against Nate Diaz, he had his body conditioned to be a 145er. So even though he did pack on the muscle and get up close to 170 again, it took him a while to get it going. He didn't have the muscle on, but since he's been off these past 2 years, he's just been getting jacked. He's just been getting big. His muscle mass is bigger. He's going to have a ton of trouble making 155, in my opinion. He was already murdering himself to make featherweight. He could do something at welterweight, but it's just you look at those top contenders. You look at Tyron Woodley, Kamaru Usman, and Colby Covington. I could possibly see Conor beating Colby Covington if Colby was cocky enough to keep it on the feet with him, because Colby does have sloppy striking and a couple of those counter strikes. McGregor does hit like a Mack truck. He could probably take one of those guys down. Kamaru Usman not only has a chin, he's an absolute tank. He'll pressure you and pressure you and pressure you. He's eventually going to get you down. He's like Khabib, but 10 times better, in my opinion. Not as good with the ground and pound, but 10 times better when it comes to the clinching you against the cage. He's bigger, he's stronger. And Tyron Woodley is he's just an animal. He can match McGregor with the power. He can match McGregor with the striking. McGregor would have the speed advantage, and he could take McGregor down. There's too many cons versus the pros at welterweight for McGregor. I think he could go on and run at lightweight. If Gaethje beats Khabib, Conor fights Gaethje. Conor wins the belt from Gaethje. He goes on to fight Tony Ferguson. He goes on to fight Dustin Poirier. He gets a couple title defenses in. He avoids Khabib, which I'm sure he could find a way to do. Conor could really, really go on a serious run at lightweight, and that's not me dick riding the guy. That's just an actual fact. Thank you for the questions, though. I really do appreciate the questions. It gives me something to talk about because the usual hockey subscribers of this channel don't seem to want to be in the chat right now. And that's perfectly fine. I haven't done a live stream in a long time, guys. I don't expect you guys to be piling in here like you did before. I used to announce my live streams. I used to have many more views on my videos. I was more consistent with my channel, which is what I'm trying to do now. Now that I have the OPS set up back up, any chance I get to go live, I will go live. Like, my daughter's asleep right now. I have a chance to go live. I'm getting a babysitter tomorrow. I'm excited to have a live stream tomorrow. And not only just live streams where I talk to fans, I'm going to have, or talk to subscribers of the channel and fans of NHL, I should say, because I don't think anybody is my fan. I don't expect them to be my fan. But I'm also going to do live streams where I do, like, videos in a live format. So while I'm doing the video, I'll be talking about all the stats. I'll be talking about the topic I'm talking about. But at the same time, I can look off to the side, maybe see a question here and there and chime in on the question through the video or get to the questions at the end of the video. I find that's a good thing to do. And I'm also trying to figure out a way that, I don't know if anybody's a technical wizard in here, but I can't figure out how to get videos onto my OPS so I can get videos on the screen with me at the same time and do some reactions to, like, hockey fights, old school hockey stuff, crazy UFC knockouts, stuff like that. I have a few things planned. Think Romanov will make the third pair, or will he start in the AHL? I think personally they should start him in the AHL. My personal opinion is they should start Alexander Romanov in the AHL. Unless they have really high hope for him, he absolutely impresses like crazy in camp. And instead of putting him on the third pair with somebody who's not going to be very strong, because they really don't have anybody strong on the right side for the third pair, maybe Fleury next year, but offensively, I just don't see it. And skating-wise, I don't think he can keep up with Romanov. But if Romanov really impressed and they decided to put him with Jeff Petrie, starting right off the hop, like, put him with Petrie, let Petrie be his mentor, I would agree with that. I would love to see that. Romanov's good enough to put himself in that position. I could totally see him doing that. But I think they should start him in the AHL, give him a ton of minutes. Before he knows it, probably right away, he'll be the number one defenseman on Laval, have a ton of confidence, and let him get used to the just below the NHL tier. Some of them are NHL level, but just below the level of the true NHL caliber players. Let him adjust to the North American style, even if it's only 10 or 20 games, and then bring him in for the Habs. I don't think he should start off as a third pairing, though. He's not going to get a ton of minutes. He'll get limited minutes, so if he is struggling, he won't have a lot of time to make up for those struggles, and he's not going to be with a very good defensive partner. Romanov needs a good defensive partner. You can't bring a rookie in like this and give him some can on the third line. Like, I love Cale Fleury, don't get me wrong. Josh Brook probably does have a good future and all that stuff, but I really don't think and Christian Folin, I believe he's still with the Habs. I don't believe he got traded yet or moved. I could be wrong. I thought I heard he was on waivers, but I don't think he got picked up. Christian Folin could be on that third line on the right side too, but nobody's trying to put Romanov with, which is why I think they should probably start him in the AHL. Laval going to be looking scary next year. Yeah, especially with Belzile there, 28 years old, leading the team in points 2 years in a row. Can't get a crack at the Habs for the life of him. Career AHLer, but excellent numbers in the AHL. But Caden Primo is awesome. I think he's got the potential. I'm not saying he's going to be, but I think he has the potential to be the next Carey Price. Josh Brook, I think he got a lot more development to do, but I think he'd be great. Romanov is going to be scary as hell in Laval. If who else? I know Caulfield's going to Wisconsin for another year. Yelenin's going to be scary as hell in Laval. He's already really good. Hillis, I don't think will go back to the OHL. I think this was his last year in OHL. He's going to be a big upgrade for Laval, and plus the players they already have. If Poehling don't get called up, I don't think KK will stay in Laval too long, especially with them signing a guy like Hillis and bringing him on off his ELC. Everything indicates he's not going back to the OHL after the season. He wants to go with Montreal. He's already signed the ELC. There's no other junior they're going to send him to. They're going to bring him up to Laval. He'll develop in Laval and eventually go to Montreal. And I think Hillis is a super underrated prospect. Check him out if you don't know who I'm talking about. Norlander as well. Like, we don't even know what's happening with Norlander yet. It's crazy. Laval is going to be very scary next year. Thanks a ton for tuning into my stream, Aaron, too, and NHL Hockey News Reports. Hey, man, I'm back. And speaking of Devil, I literally just said your name. Thank you so much for tuning into the stream, guys. I didn't announce the stream. I'm probably not going to have a lot of people viewing it. I'll go for an hour or two for sure. I'd like to get a few more Habs fans in here, or a few more UFC fans, or maybe even people that just want to talk about life, like what's happening in your life right now. I know this COVID-19 stuff it fucking sucks, guys. A lot of people are going through struggles. A lot of people are out of work, can't get help from the government, can't get help financially. Thankfully, I had some money saved. I wasn't prepared for something like this, but in a way, I was prepared to go a few months if I didn't have to work. Definitely wasn't fucking prepared for a global pandemic, though, but some people out there are really struggling, I know. Like, some subscribers of mine that have commented that I've talked to through DMs on Facebook and Twitter are going through some hard times. I had one guy the other day send me a couple hockey cards, and he was telling me he's going through some health issues, that he was in chemo. I'm not going to say his name now, but he was in chemotherapy and stuff, and he was so scared to go outside because if he were to contract COVID, it's pretty much a death sentence for him because his immune system is so low and he already has problems with his lungs. So it's stressing him out. And he was saying watching my videos helps him get his mind off it, and he loves my channel and stuff like that. So it was great to hear stuff like that, and I know a lot of people are going through hard times. So that's another reason why I went live tonight, just to catch up with some subscribers that want to tune into the channel. Shoot the shit about hockey, shoot the shit about UFC, talk about hockey cards, anything you're interested in that I'm interested in that I got an opinion on, I'll talk about it for sure. Now let's get to some questions here. Favorite Habs players of all time. 100% above all, will always be my favorite Habs player. Don't care. He's the reason why I'm such a diehard Habs fan. I was a really big Habs fan as a kid, don't get me wrong. But when this guy joined the Habs is when I became diehard, is when I became every day watching every game, knew every stat, constantly followed the scores, constantly started going to NHL.com and looking at the stats. Carey Price made me such a huge hockey fan. Not so much his first year in Montreal where he struggled a little bit, but his like second or third year where he came in and he was so hot, like he was red hot and he looked deadly, and they had a good playoff run. They ended up, I believe they actually lost to Boston in the first round. The very first year he was really hot, but he looked good going into playoffs, and since then I was just hooked. Behind him, Michael Ryder, because Michael Ryder's a Newfoundlander. Love Saku Koivu. How can anybody who's a diehard Habs fan, that especially from the 90s, not love Saku Koivu? Came back from cancer. Even with all the terrible teams the Habs had in the 90s, Koivu was one consistent good thing about the Habs. Like, as bad as they were in the 90s, missing the playoffs all the time, you could always say, at least we got Saku Koivu. He used to have head-to-head bangers with Matt Sundin when they'd go up against the Leafs. Loved seeing Koivu play against Sundin. They always brought out the best in each other. That's my top three. As for my other favorite two Habs, I'm not going to lie, PK Subban was a very big influence for me as a Habs fan. I really, really liked PK Subban. And behind him, I know it's a guy who wasn't with the Habs for a long time, didn't stick around for a long time. I really liked Mike Camilleri as a Hab. Like, we're going all time, like way back of all time. Patrick Roy is one of them too. But in my lifetime, guys who I watched played a lot, was a big Mike Camilleri fan. He was only with the Habs for a few years, but he put up 30 goals. He was consistent point-wise. The injuries kind of sucked when he got him, but I really liked him, so I had to go Price, Ryder, Koivu, Subban, and who the hell did I just say? Whoever I was just talking about, sorry, the last guy I completely forgot about. Andrei Markov's another one I absolutely love. Then you know one who I didn't love? He was actually voted amongst, I don't know if it was a fan poll or like a Reuters poll or something like that. Maxime Lapierre was voted the most annoying, most irritating, agitating French-Canadian player to ever play for the Habs recently. So Maxime Lapierre is probably on a couple people's lists, but that dude annoyed me when he went to Vancouver, especially when he played against Montreal. He was always greasy against his old team, so wasn't a big fan of the guy, but yeah, that's another name I'd like to mention for sure. Sorry, I was rambling a little bit, guys, and my throat is really dry from cursing and swearing at this live stream earlier because it took me so long to get it back up on the go. 3 concurrent viewers. I'm getting 2 questions, but it says I have 3 viewers, so whoever the third guy is viewing, feel free to friggin' leave a question, guys. Now, where do I leave off your favorite Habs? Aaron says, picks aren't looking too bad for the Habs this year either. Only if we could get Lafreniere, we probably won't move much in the draft, though I'd say we'll be picking 8th. You never really know. Like, look at what happened. Who was it last year? I can't remember. Wasn't New Jersey? Maybe it was New Jersey. New Jersey was like farther back, and they weren't even in the top 4 teams that were supposed to pick, that were like projected to get the first pick. I believe Colorado had the best odds because they had their own pick plus Ottawa's pick, and Ottawa was like one of the worst teams in the league. But New Jersey jumped really high, ended up getting first overall pick last year. I seen Buffalo a few years ago jump way back in the pack over Colorado once again and get first overall pick. So Lafreniere is not impossible to get. It's going to be really hard to get Lafreniere, but I'd like to see him slip to like fourth or fifth. I'd love to see him get like fourth or fifth and get somebody like Cole Perfetti. Another underrated prospect is Jack Quinn. I don't think he probably might not go top 10, but he's another name I would love to see with the Habs. Byram, of course, not Byram, Byfield. Byfield is going to be one hell of a player. Didn't look that great in the World Juniors this year, but you look at his junior totals. The kid's a fucking stud. There's no denying the kid's a stud. So one or two, if you get one or two this year as a Montreal Canadiens fan, you have to be absolutely happy. Lafreniere, there's no doubt about it from what I've seen from this kid. He's going to be a generational talent. Probably not at the level of Connor McDavid or Austin Matthews, but I could see him being a really good, like, Jack Eichel type player, a franchise player for sure. And Byfield has, from everything I've seen from Byfield, the insane numbers he has and how young he is. If he keeps going the path he's going, you could be looking at another generational player right there, or one hell of a player for your team, a Leon Draisaitl type down the road. Who even knows? It could be crazy. But Cole Perfetti, Jack Quinn, I got a feeling this year at the draft, Montreal could do pretty well for himself, especially how Marc Bergevin's been doing lately. Norlander last year, like, what a steal Norlander was. And then Caulfield at 15th, but you can't even blame Bergevin for that. That fell into his lap. Who's seen Caulfield going at 15th? If you go back to my channel and look at my mock draft from last year, I had Caulfield picked going 5th overall, I'm pretty sure. I had him in the top 5 for sure. That's how good Caulfield was, in my opinion. Sorry, guys, rambling once again. Whoa. Now, where am I to? Favorite Habs. Thought you were going to say Ryder. Yeah, I'm a diehard Newfoundlander, and Ryder is from Newfoundland, and he played for the Habs. One thing about Ryder, though, he would be my all-time favorite Hab of all time, probably, but he won the Cup with the Bruins, and not only did he won the Cup with the Bruins, I call this karma in the best way. He brought it to St. John's, and he's the only player I know of doing this. He dropped the cup on the ground during the parade here in St. John's and put a big old dent in the side of it. And as soon as I seen that in the newspaper, the picture of the dent in the Stanley Cup, I was like, that's karma for winning that cup with the Bruins. Oh, it killed me. My favorite player next to Price at the time, him and Price were by far my favorite player. And he goes over and plays with the Bruins and wins the fucking cup. Oh, it was so disgusting, guys. Sorry for cursing so much. I made this live stream not for kids, so I'm hoping there's no kids. And on this live stream, I put it in the bottom selection where it says, like, people who can view it. I didn't make this for kids, so if you're under the age of whatever it is, 14 or 15, I'd advise you not watch the channel. But you can if you want to, but don't let your parents hear it because I'm cursing a lot, and I restricted it, so I don't know how YouTube does that. Hopefully there's no kids watching this because there's going to be cursing in my live stream for sure. I'm a Newfoundlander. What do you expect? That was going to be scary next year. NHL Hockey News Report says second favorite NHL team, of course, number one is Habs. My second favorite NHL team is the Buffalo Sabres. Believe it or not, the Buffalo Sabres are my second favorite NHL team because growing up, I was a big Mike Peca fan and I was a big Dominik Hasek fan. Whenever I couldn't watch Habs games, I used to always watch Sabres games. As a kid, as like a young kid, like 8, 9, 10 years old, I was in between Buffalo and Montreal. I rooted for both teams equally. I loved both teams. But when Carey Price joined the Habs and my dad started really, like, it brainwashed me with that Habs love that he has because he's a diehard Habs fan too, that was it. I was all Habs. I was all in on the Habs from like the age of like 7, 8 and up. But when I was like a really young kid, first started watching hockey, I loved Dominik Hasek. I loved the Buffalo Sabres. Their black uniforms with the saber that they used to have on it, the old black uniform, I loved it. There was something about it that just stood out to me so much. And Hasek's style of playing, him going head-to-head with Juan in certain games. Yeah, they were in different conferences, but when they did play against each other, it was a big event. I always watched it. So I'd have to say Buffalo is my second favorite team by far. Markov is my favorite defenseman for the Montreal Canadiens. That's probably your favorite defenseman overall. Markov is a stud, absolute stud. He was a workhorse for the Habs. He wasn't flashy. He didn't get all the attention. But you look at his numbers in the playoffs. You look at what he did for PK Subban. You look at what he did for the team. Super underrated, but you cannot say Andrei Markov is not at least in the top 10 greatest defensemen for the Montreal Canadiens of all time. Even if the numbers don't suggest it, even if the offensive totals don't suggest it. Just what he did for the team, as long as he stayed there. And when there was years when he was on the team, when the team was awful, Markov was consistently good every year. Got better every year. His last 2 or 3 years in Montreal, probably not up to par to what he should have been, what people thought he was going to be. It's probably why they did let him walk afterwards. But I loved Andrei Markov. He was a workhorse for the Habs, and you could always depend on him to show up. Loved when him and Subban were a pair like that. I love Shea Weber, but the Markov and Subban days were so much more fun. Like I love Shea Weber, but since he's coming to Montreal, besides the 1 year where they got eliminated by New York in the first round, and Weber didn't do much in that series. Nobody really did besides Price. They haven't had any playoff success, but we've seen playoff success with Subban and Markov. We've seen them defeat the Boston Bruins in the first round, go on to defeat the Ottawa Senators in the next round, and then eventually make it to an Eastern Finals. We've seen Markov do that without Subban, and we've seen him do it with Subban. We've seen him do it in 2010 without Subban, and we've seen him do it in whatever year it was with Subban. I don't think Subban was with him in 2010 when they made the finals with Halak. I could be wrong, don't get me wrong, but I know he made 2 Eastern Finals with the Habs, and he was a major part of it, and he was a major help for Carey Price in front of Carey Price. I guarantee you, one player on the Habs, besides Subban when Markov left, actually Subban wasn't still there when Markov left, I don't believe, but one player who definitely misses Markov in the NHL is Subban for sure. I'm sure he missed having that guy as a partner, and Carey Price is definitely another guy who misses a guy like Andrei Markov. From how could you not? World-class defenseman, one of the best Russian defensemen for sure, super underrated, so gotta say I really like that. Aaron says, LMAO, Rodder used to play softball with my uncle in the summer, and I got a Habs license plate signed by him. You lucky fucker. I'd love to have a Habs license plate signed by Rodder. I've been trying to get his Young Guns hockey cards. I don't know if you guys watch the hockey card breaks on the channels. My Habs Young Gun collection is off the chain. This year alone, I got Paling, Suzuki Canvas, Flurry, Premu Acetate, Premu Regular Young Guns, and Premu Canvas. So I'm really heavy into the hockey cards, especially the Habs, and I don't have a Michael Rodder Young Gun, so I gotta go out and get that. It's not even a lot of money. It's probably only like a $15 or $20 card, but to me, it's probably not even that much, because there's like Pierre-Luc Dubois only sells for $10 in the Young Gun market right now, which is like the hottest type rookies in Upper Deck. In the lower end, mid-end Upper Deck is Young Guns. It's the hottest rookies right now that you can get. You type in Young Guns on eBay, there's thousands for sale. They sell every day. But Rodder is somebody who I haven't acquired, so I got to go out and find myself a Michael Rodder. I couldn't find him on eBay for sale, maybe in a hockey card group, but I need to get me some Michael Rodder hockey cards. Dying to get the guy's autograph. Dying to get the guy's to get his Young Gun. And I thought I pulled a Rodder Young Gun. Thought I pulled a Rodder autograph one day. I was going through a pack of hockey cards and I hollered at a Habs card. It was an OPG Platinum, and it was a Jacob Delarose autograph. And in the picture, whatever way his face was angled, he looked so much like Michael Rodder. I was sliding the card up and I was looking at it. I was like, oh my God, Rodder. I said, I don't want to tap. Hauled it out. God damn it, it was Jacob Delarose. You want to talk about the biggest letdown in the world. It was a rookie auto. Don't get me wrong, it was a rookie auto, 2015. But I still thought it was like an older Rodder card that they inserted in it. I was really upset. That's just a random Rodder story for you guys. As you can tell, my voice is getting a little bit hoarse, but that's okay. It says my video resolution is a bit off on this live stream, so I'm not sure how it's coming out on your end, guys, but if the video is a bit choppy, I'm sorry. It says, please check the video resolution. The current resolution is blah, 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 but hopefully my video is coming up, so let me know if I look good on your end. I'm not too choppy here. I'm not too screwed up on the live stream, because I'm not doing it through my OPS. I'm doing it through regular YouTube this time with my OPS connected to it. So, my OBS, I should say. I always say OPS. Alex Bennett, how do you think about Hillis, captain, 83 points? Oh, yes, Alex, I don't know if you've seen it yet. Go check it on my channel. I made a video about him today. I said I was going to do an in-depth prospect report. I believe I did a prospect report on him last year, too. Super talented young player. When Montreal signed him, there was a lot of unscraped potential. He had like crazy junior numbers before he went to the OHL. Goes to the OHL, wins a championship with Nick Suzuki and the Guelph Storm, named to the OHL first all-rookie team, can skate. I really like this kid's skating. I really like his overall ability. Then this year, ends up being, after Suzuki and Ratcliffe and Schnarr leave, he ends up being named the captain of the team, gets, what, like you said, what was it? 83 points in 64 games is what he had, a plus 27, and he, once again, just like Suzuki and Schnarr and Ratcliffe did, positioned Guelph to make a good run to defend their championship. And I think they could have did it with Cam Hillis. Who knows? Maybe somehow they'll find a way to still have those playoffs and he'll get that shot. But yeah, he's great. Couple of years in the OHL, already an OHL champion, already a captain of one of the best teams in the OHL, the current OHL champions, the Guelph Storm. Puts up a ton of points, a plus 27, solid defensively, can skate good, has a good all-around game. Still some unscraped potential there. I do think he will start Laval because you look at all the young talent Montreal already has, but I definitely see that kid working his way into the lineup someday, and I'm super pumped that they got him into an ELC. They got Romanoff agreed to terms, they got Yelenin locked up, and now they got Hillis locked up. Good to know. I know Caulfield is going back to the NCAA for another season, which kind of sucks, but he did have a good year in the NCAA, but you've seen in the World Juniors the struggles he kind of had with the jump in level from the under 18s to the under 20. He didn't look as good. There were certain things, especially on the defensive end, that stood out to me about him. So I think he maybe should have took that extra year in the NCAA. And when he does come to the Habs, I don't think he's going to go to Laval. I think he's going to go right from Wisconsin and jump right to the Habs because that's how good he is, and he's going to be an elite goal scorer. But yes, Hillis is amazing. Thank you for the question, or thanks for the topic. How about my third favorite team? NHL Hockey News Report says, my third, see, I've always been a diehard Habs fan, and my second team has always been Buffalo. Like, I'll always watch Buffalo. Not recently because Hasek isn't there, but growing up, I was always a big Buffalo fan as well because they had Hasek. But nowadays, I really like Vancouver. I would have to say Vancouver is my third favorite team. I loved them when they had Luongo and Sedin. When the Habs were knocked out of the playoffs, I was rooting for Vancouver to win the Cup. Unfortunately, they didn't. They lost to the team I hated seeing them lose, Boston. But I was rooting for Vancouver a lot to take out Boston that year. They did let me down, but they were such a good team, and now they're so exciting to watch. Like, if the Habs game isn't on and the Vancouver's games is on and I have the free time, I will watch the Vancouver game. Quinn Hughes skates like the wind, amazing young defenseman. Him and Cale Makar, what they did this year, is just crazy. Like, usually it takes defensemen longer to develop than what it took these guys. They had a year or two in juniors or so after they got drafted, but the way they broke into the league, like, I thought Dahlin was impressive at the year before. I know these guys are a little bit older, but Hughes and Makar, man, they literally look next level. They look like Bobby Orr and Lidstrom, like reincarnated and brought to the NHL. Obviously not the same point totals and stuff, but you look at the era change, like, if they were playing back in that era, the way they can skate, the way they can play their overall game, fuck, man, they'd be the best players in the league already. Amazing, talented young players. Makar's on Colorado, obviously, but Hughes on Vancouver is amazing. Quinn Hughes. And, yeah, Elias Pettersson, who's also one of the hottest young guns going right now, hockey cards I collect. And Thatcher Demko. They have a really good young goalie prospect. Thatcher Demko played a few games from last year and looked really good in most of the games he played. I know he was killing it for my buddy in fantasy for a bit. So Vancouver would have to be my third favorite team. NHL Hockey News Report says, my favorite teams are, first, the Habs, second, the Red Wings, and third, the Canucks. I like all three of those teams, but the Red Wings, I liked the Red Wings a lot when I was younger, like when they won their first cup with Steve Osmond a bit. But there was a while there where the Red Wings just seemed like they were in the final every year. It was the Red Wings and Pittsburgh, and before that it was the Red Wings and the Avalanche, and they just kept winning and winning and winning in an era where Montreal just wasn't winning. They couldn't win in the 90s, and they haven't really done much since. They won a few playoff rounds. Yes, they can make the playoffs, but they just couldn't go all the way. And watching a team in the East like Detroit, I don't know, it wasn't jealousy, it wasn't envy, it's just something about that team rubbed me the wrong way. I was never a big fan of any particular players on that team. But I am a big fan of Gustav Nyquist. When they had Nyquist, man, I loved Nyquist. Watching him play, what an entertaining player, I must say. How far are we into the stream? 33 minutes and 47 seconds. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. However many viewers did tune in. We have 2 concurrent viewers right now. We had 3 or 4 earlier. Like I say, I don't expect a ton of people to get on the stream. I'm not like Talking Habs. I haven't scheduled streams in forever. I haven't been able to do it because I haven't had the setup to do it. But I'm back in action now, and you guys can expect more and more live streams coming. As much as I can pump them out, I will do them. If I'm available and I can do a live stream, I will do the live stream. So you guys can expect a lot more live stream coming soon. I take my hat sweater off, guys. I'm a bit warm. Any more questions you have, feel free to asked him, especially thanks a lot, Aaron, for the UFC questions too, and NHL hockey news reports for your all your questions about prospects and what my favorite teams were and all that stuff. But the UFC questions too, like it gives me a mix of hockey and UFC to talk about. Some of them, the fans on my channel probably don't like UFC, but I'm a big fan of both sports, and I know my stuff when it comes to UFC. I really do. I've been watching UFC for over a decade now. I haven't missed a card. I'm a huge fan of it in general, like hockey and UFC, and especially where there's no hockey right now. I've been so heavy into the UFC upcoming cards. There's a card tonight, sure. It's crazy. Oliver's live, just tuning in. I grew up a Habs fan, major Lafleur fan, and had 6 chances to meet most of those guys from those days. Now, of course, I'm a huge Oilers fan. Oh, I understand why you would be an Oilers fan. I don't blame you. You look at who the Oilers have right now. I'm not a huge Oilers fan, but I can sit down and watch an Oilers game any day. Like, the Oilers are wicked. I don't know how they're not a better team. I guess goaltending has held them back. Overall scoring depth has held them back. But, man, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl. Draisaitl was going to win the Hart this year if the season didn't have to end. 200-plus point players, phenomenal two-way players, tons of speed. Draisaitl's amazing. Like, the way he keeps up with McDavid now, they're both on each other's level. It's insane. McDavid obviously has the speed edge. I liked them when they had Cam Talbot, and I like their goaltending now. What's his name? Koskinen, I believe he's a lot better. Darnell Nurse is a very promising young defenseman. Yeah, like, man, Edmonton's a very exciting team. And if you go back through my channel, I made a channel where I made 3 bold predictions for this upcoming season, for the 2019-20 season, as it was coming up for the season that's happening now. I made them in the summertime. And one of the bold predictions I made was the Edmonton Oilers are 100% going to make the playoffs, and they were going to win a round. That was one of the predictions I made. And I have total faith they would have made the playoffs this year. I'm really surprised they didn't. And thank you very much for tuning into the channel and tuning into the stream, my friend. Feel free to hit that subscribe button. I'm going to go for about another 5 or 10 minutes, guys, because I don't have a ton of free time on my hands right now. I was going to try and make it a full hour. Hopefully I can get more people in next time because, like I say, I don't do my streams like I used to. This is the first stream I've done in like 5 months. I haven't had as much free time on my hands, but I'm not working due to COVID. My kid is in bed. I'm bored to death, and I figured I would like to catch up with a few of my subscribers and a few new fans and hopefully new subscribers of the channel. So thank you so much for the questions, and thank you for tuning in, the few people that did. I really appreciate it. Because at least that way I'm not talking to myself. Like, that's not very fun. NHL Hockey News Report says, how many jerseys do you have? See, I've never been a huge jersey guy. If we're talking hockey cards, jersey relics, I got boxes of hockey card jersey relics like Jack Hughes game-worn jerseys, Saku Koivu jersey relics, everything you can think of. Like hockey cards, I've always been a big collector of cards, figurines, and posters to put on my wall and stuff. But jerseys, I have a Team Canada jersey, I have an old Carey Price jersey, and I have an old Koivu jersey that hasn't fit me in years. But as far as wearable jerseys that I can wear out around and wear in videos, Carey Price jersey and the Team Canada one, which you've probably seen me on wearing a lot of videos. Like the majority of my videos when I started doing the channel, my hockey videos, I wore the Team Canada jersey because I wanted to be neutral. I didn't want to wear an NHL team's jersey because I didn't want to stand out as a fan of just one team, even though it was heavily a Montreal channel. I did cover other teams, so that way I always wore the Canada jersey. But now, upcoming, I'll throw on the Price jersey, no problem. Throw on the Habs hat. I even got a Vegas hat there in the background that somebody gave me for Christmas that I threw as the background. And I'll even wear that sometimes. I'm not a Golden Knights fan, but if I'm doing an NHL video covering all NHL teams or a mock draft video, there's no problem with wearing another team's logo as long as it's not the goddamn Leafs or those shitty Bruins. I'll never wear that on my body. I will never wear it on my body. I will burn it before I'll put it anywhere near me. No Leafs hats, no Bruins gear, no nothing like that. But yeah, 3 jerseys in total, and 2 that are like decent. The Koivu one is old as the hills. NHL Hockey News Report says, nice, and he says, I'm sorry I got to go. Thanks for the great live stream. No problem, my friend, and please stay tuned for more upcoming live streams. Now, this was more of a test run tonight. It was his first live stream in a while. I didn't announce it. I didn't tell anybody about it. Usually I have a few of my friends that are just like my friends in real life that I talk to all the time that live around me that view my YouTube channel, and I'll message them on Facebook and say, stay tuned for the live stream. I need a few questions. I need you guys to help get me going, to be there to start it, and then I get more people in it. I didn't do that tonight. Nobody knew I was going to stream this stream. I only told Joe and NHL Hockey News Reports, and they did tune in, I believe. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in, and I really appreciate the new viewers of the channel. Aaron and Alex, thank you so much for tuning in. I truly do appreciate it. NHL Hockey News Reports says more videos coming soon. And yes, guys, if you haven't checked out his channel, he's also a huge Habs fan from what I can tell. But he covers all teams, all topics. He updates everything that comes out. He beat me to the Romanov. He beat me to the Romanov ELC contract video, and I was the second person next to him on YouTube to put up that video, because as soon as I put it up, I typed in Romanov news, Romanov contract, filtered it to last hour of videos that were posted, and only me and his video were there. So he beat me to that. That's how quick this guy is on the ball. Great channel. Thank you for tuning in so much, NHL Hockey News Reports. Have a great night, guys, or have a great night, bud. And to the rest of you, whoever's still tuning into this channel, Alex, Aaron, Joe, whichever one of you guys are watching, Oliver's live as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you guys tuning into this stream. I'd like to give a few shout outs at the end of the stream to channels that I love. Check out my buddy Talking Habs with Rick. He covers everything Habs. He does live streams himself. If you like my channel, if you like this style of live stream, you'll love Rick. Check out the Sin Bin, who's another great channel. Matt, I've been featured on a lot of his podcasts and a lot of his streams. We've collabed together a lot. Check him out. And couple of hockey card videos that I really like. Check out Molot Hobbies. Check out Gaming Cards and More. Check out 813 Gaming is another great channel. Mad T18 is one of my favorite hockey card channels as well. So those are some channels for the Habs fans and the hockey card fans. And as of UFC fans, gotta check out MMA World. And what's that guy's name? I can't remember. There's another guy's Mexican Mixed Martial Arts. It's like a parody channel, but he knows his stuff. Such a great MMA channel. Check it out. Mexican Mixed Martial Arts. You gotta check it out, guys. And as you can tell, I'm so thirsty right now from being here all day trying to set up this stream and finally getting it done. I was doing a lot of talking before I went live, and I kind of got myself pooped. So I'm going to call this a night. Thank you so much for tuning into the stream, everybody. Have yourself a great night. Didn't go as smoothly as a regular Scotty 2 Hockey stream goes. Didn't have anything prepared, any questions, any topics. The first of it was a bit rough, but I really appreciate the questions, guys. I know I can't say it enough. Take care of yourself during this pandemic. Do whatever you got to do to stay safe. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't. If you can, you don't have to. Smash that like button and stay tuned for more live streams, videos, upcoming stuff. I'll be live tomorrow at some point. I can promise you that. Take care, guys. Have a good night. Scotty 2 Hockey, and like I always say, over and out.